Okay, hello everybody, and it's been a while, but here I am back with another gaming unboxing for tabletop role-playing stuff. All right, this one is pure nostalgia for me. I backed Twilight 2000, gaming in the World War III that never was. This was one of my favorite games back in the 80s. It's post-apocalyptic. It was originally done by GDW in 1984, which was Game Designers Workshop is what it was. They did a couple other games, most notable of which was another one of my favorites, Dark Conspiracy, kind of a supernatural type role-playing game in a near future. Almost cyberpunk, but not quite, with supernatural elements. But this was a post-apocalyptic World War III, after the World War III, limited nuclear use. It was, Cold War got hot scenario. And it was a lot of fun, and it was very, I don't know, just one of my favorite games I played back then, which I no longer had the books for. And then the Free League redid it, and I've loved a lot of the other games that they've done. Tales from the Loop. What was the other one? Vessin was another really good one. And they've always got great quality. And the fact that they were redoing one of my favorite games from when I first started playing role-playing games, I just had to have it. So needless to say, I overdid it a little bit and went for the Deluxe edition. They initially asked for 10,000 US and got 590,000 at the end of the Kickstarter, which probably went more because they usually have more. They usually allow late backers on their website. Let's see. Yeah, so this was done in 1984 was the original one. Oh, I also got a couple of add-ons for some other two other games that from them that I wanted to get. Ooh. Do you have any questions regarding your package? Huh. Logistics, that's kind of cool. Okay, cool. Nice. You don't really see that. People being like, hey, anything wrong? Here's a message. Here's how you contact us. All right. So I got the basic book for Simbarum. This is a cool one, almost a post-apocalyptic fantasy game. I really like the idea of this one. This is the core rules. This game, this isn't what the unboxing is about, but just tell you a little bit about why I got it. It's very different rules. The GM rolls no dice. The Game Master doesn't do any dice rolls. All of the monsters and bad guys and all of that have specific stats that they always do, and it's the players that are always tempting fate and going above and beyond and whatnot with their roles and whatnot. But what's cool about this, I like the setting, is this is the bad guys winning. This is Lord of the Rings, except nobody stopped Sauron, and he's steamrolling across the world. Well, on the other side of this huge, unbelievably large mountain range is the Forest of Simbarum, and that's where people are fleeing to, and and it's been going on for years. So there are a couple of established cities in this ancient forest that is waking up, and it has its own hazards and things. And anyway, yeah, fascinating, really cool. Love the artwork for it, and the setting. I mean, check that out. This is just awesome. I'm seriously looking forward to this, and I think it'll be really interesting because it's not a diceless game, but it's a diceless game for the Game Master. So I'm really interested to see how that works out and whatnot. And I love the setting, just this forest. I mean, look at that. See, this is the map. A couple of established cities, but there's also apparently the rest of the world is kind of low magic, but there are ancient cities buried in the forest that have been overtaken by the forest that are that people are sending expeditions out to, because in some of these buried cities are artifacts and whatnot that people are digging up. So that's kind of your reason to go into the forest, to look for magic to help fight and make yourself stronger and whatnot. But it's a real dangerous place. Yeah, really neat, really neat. Looking forward to that. They also, I backed a couple of years ago the 5th edition rules for this. Needless to say, the Free League is a Swedish group. They do a lot of European stuff, but most of their stuff is in Swedish. So getting copies of their games in English, not the easiest thing going on. The other thing I got from this was the second book for Tales from the Loop role-playing game. This is Things from the Flood. In that, hello, Boo. How you doing, Bella? In that world. This is a fascinating thing. Kind of like, this was done by Stalenhag. I can't remember his name, his first name, but he did an art book of Tales from the Loop. Weird science, kind of Stranger Things before Stranger Things. That got turned into, with the popularity, I think, of Stranger Things, Tales from the Loop got turned into a role-playing game. And a board game that I've backed and I'm waiting for as well. But yeah, this is really cool. But this is kind of the follow-up to that, you know. Anyway, great stuff. Check it out. It's also a TV series on Amazon, Tales from the Loop. But those are awesome. But these were add-ons that I got because I couldn't really find another way to get them. But here it is, the deluxe edition of Twilight 2000. Make sure there's nothing else hiding in there with the packing material. Nope. All right. Good for them. These are biodegradable foam peanuts made from, I think, cornstarch or some kind of starch. So you can actually like eat these. Other fun things to do with them, with the bags, and they stick to stuff. I worked at a company shipping things, and we would make horns and all sorts of fun stuff out of those. But anyway, a little bit too much of a look inside of my head. All right, Twilight 2000. The deluxe edition starter box was a tin, which I thought was cool. Looks like an ammo can. See, 200 cartridges, 7.62 millimeter. That's right. Let's open this up. We've got 7 minutes in, and I've been talking too much. I haven't even gotten to the unboxing the actual thing I backed. All right. Some of the things I loved about this game. I don't know how many of you are familiar with Traveler or not, but Traveler has a life path character generation where you roll randomly to see how your life has been up until the moment of where you start playing. One of the biggest jokes about people who play Traveler is the fact that you can die in character creation. But when you do that, as you roll, you get character events and, you know, tells how you started and your life and whatnot, and you get skill points and skills and specials things. Well, GDW did the same thing with their life path. A little catalog, other things available from Felix Vesson. That's really, really cool, really cool. Can't wait until COVID is over, or at least down enough that I can get back with my gaming group and do some gaming. I want to try all these things that have shown up during COVID. But anyway, little preview of Vesson, Twilight 2000, Mutant Year Zero, Coriolis. Coriolis is kind of neat. It's a space sci-fi game where, like the Middle East were the first ones to get established in space. So like the cultures out there and the technology and just the whole kind of setup, political setup is very different from a very Western-centric idea of what space would look like, what a colonized space would look like. Tales from the Loop. Forbidden Lands, very famous, very cool setting, fantasy setting, classic fantasy setting, except again, these things are always fascinating to me because they're done by, I'm in the US, but these are from, you know, Europe and other people that, you know, so it's just all from a different perspective with different things are important. I'm fascinated by that, as well as how the rules work. and aliens. Yep. Anyway, the role-playing game. Okay, anyway, there's that. But Twilight 2000 or GDW did a similar thing where when in character generation you would get, you would determine what you did for a certain number of years, whether you were in the military or whether you were homeless or you went to college or whatever type of job, and you would get skill points in specific skills and a certain number of skill points based on how much free time you had to devote to whatever interests you might have had. So anyway, it was kind of a neat idea. And I really enjoyed it. You got some interesting characters out of it. So, everybody who was in the military, a particular military service got, you could guarantee that they would all basically have the same knowledge and skills because they all went through basic training and whatnot. Made sense. All right. Okay, this is kind of cool. So, like, top secret, I guess these are mission statements for the starting adventures. Because this is the Deluxe beginner's box. So these have got some pre-generated starting adventures. Nice maps, hex-based. Ruined city or town. Walled section of town with some, looks like crops being raised outside the walls, like a school or something that's been converted, or maybe a prison that's been converted for people to live in. So yeah, this takes place like years after the end of World War III. This was one of the cool things. So whenever you were playing, you had this map, and it was kind of a sandbox style gameplay that could be going on, and you would, you're the last remaining people from your unit or survivors that have hooked up and are moving across this landscape, and you would basically, and you had kind of a map, or the GM would have a map and you wouldn't know, and you'd move from hex to hex, heading towards a city or something, and you would find out what was in that hex as you went. So it was kind of a sandbox, West Marches type of gameplay. Anyway, really, really nice map. I like that seriously heavy-duty cardstock there, which I dig. One of these stretch goals was a pad of character sheets. So here we have, character sheets ready to go, fill in. And they're all done like a file dossier on yourself or your character or whatever. Some nice little hex maps for single scale, encounters at a crossroads or along a road. Double-sided, I like that. See? Lots of them. You could string them together, have almost a miniatures battle style as you played. Ooh, punch outs. Check that out with your different characters. And I'd have to look to see exactly where they decided to start with this, whether it's some of the adventures are like right after the war or a year after the war, where it's been like called, the war's over, but you were left out there, you and your unit or whatever, and you're trying to make your way back home. History, this is the referee's manual, how to play, how to use the maps. Look at that, again, really nice quality paper, great art. Free League always does fabulous art to really set the mood of what it's like where you're playing at. Pre-generated characters for the adventures and whatnot. Nice player's manual. Again, that great art setting the stage for what it's like. Set your mood of your game. Weapons, their stats. Look at that. Awesome. I love it whenever a game only has like a few artists contributing, because it can really kind of muddy the feel of the game whenever you've got like 10 different artists and all of them have got a slightly different feel for what it's supposed to be like. Ammo dice, whenever you fire a gun, whether or not, you know, you're just pulling the trigger in full auto to see whether it jams or it explodes or whatever's going on, because you're using found equipment. It's maybe not the most sound. Interested to see what kind of the rules are. They've changed some of the rules, updated them, because let's face it, you know, gaming in 84, not quite as refined, or the rules were a little bit more complex than they needed to be. Kind of hard to get a focus on that, but there it is. Than they are now. We've learned a lot since then, since the start of gaming. You know, what's really needed versus what was just thrown in because it seemed like a cool idea at the time. Maybe more complex than it needed. Hit location dice. Hello, Lumos. All right, and lastly, encounter cards. This is the kind of the different cards to help speed things along, so people don't have to keep everything written down, or you don't have to roll up encounters. You can just kind of draw them. Final rest, a crater from a nuclear strike, 3d6 times 10 meter wide, 1/5 is deep, debris is everywhere, scrounging rolls to see if you can find anything useful, soldier with assault rifle lies at the bottom, an area twice as wide as the crater is radioactive. That's kind of cool. Then your initiative order. You know, see who goes when. I don't know whether you draw. This seems to be a new mechanic, initiative cards, or whether you just pass these out so people know when they've gone. Or what. It'll be interesting to see. Because like I said, they've updated the rules. It's not quite as dated, you know, anymore. But anyway, that's it. Look at that. A lot of cool stuff. I like the cards. The initiative, I like the encounter cards for just drawing out, get an idea of what's going on. I'm sure the symbols mean something, as well as the fact that they're standard, like playing card, like 2 of diamonds, you know. That's like the 8 of clubs. I don't know if you can see that too well. Kind of wonder what those mean or help. Does this happen at night or during the day? Whether they can rest, is that what the pause mean? I don't know. But we'll find out. I'm really looking forward to this. Like I said, I got this a lot out of nostalgia, because this was, like I said, one of my favorite games. And I can remember a lot of good times. Because this is one of the first games that came out that wasn't just fantasy based, you know, kind of a D&D ripoff at the time. Referee's manual, like this, all of it's good quality too. And I love this tin. All the maps. You've got ones that are obviously a bigger scale or smaller scale, depending on what type of fight you're having. Character sheets, always got to mark one probably on the back or something as original, so that I can have it around to make photocopies out of. This giant map. Be a lot of fun, you know, make photocopies of sections so that the players can like mark it up and say what they found in each area, so they know what they can go back to. Maybe these big unfoldable play area mats for locations. And then these dossiers, like files, like troop movements. I wonder if that's like at the time of the battles or during World War III, or if it's, you know, whatever's going on. It'll be interesting. This is a lot of information, a lot of cool stuff to work with here. I like starter sets that help you go beyond just like that first adventure and all of the rules. But here it is, yeah. Twilight 2000. Adventuring in the World War III that never was. I can always recommend Free League. Just about anything they do is good quality. It's a fun game. They put a lot of thought into it. And this, again, based on GDW's 1984 game. A lot of nostalgia in this set. Check it out. Check it out. I like this setup. This was a fun game. I'm hoping it will be again. All right. Thanks a lot, and I will see y'all around the internet.